Afghanistan must not, become a safe haven for terrorist groups. I mean, what is the background of this statement, and how do you see Taliban regime's reaction against peace talks and against Pakistan's demands for a joint mechanism to deal or curb the menace of terrorism?
Well, first of all, Afghanistan is a sovereign country with its own territorial integrity. And in that sense, all the neighboring countries, 6 of us, need to respect Afghanistan as is. On the other hand, Afghanistan should not allow itself to be a cradle of terrorism, fundamentalism, and extremism, allowing it to spill out of Afghanistan into neighboring countries, including into Pakistan or China's Xinjiang Autonomous Region. If that happens, then all of us, and individually as well as collectively, need to do something to convey the message to Afghanistan that you need to embrace peace and stability and development, and you should not allow all these terrorist groups, fundamentalist groups, to spill over into the neighboring countries. And if there is any problem, the problem needs to be addressed. In that sense, I think Pakistan is defending its own sovereignty and territorial integrity in making sure that such fundamentalism or extremism do not spill out of Afghanistan to Pakistan.
And as you said that not only individually but also jointly need to push Afghan regime to deal with the menace of terrorism, and it should not harm any neighboring country. What do you mean by jointly? By that, I understood that Pakistan and China should join hands to talk to the Taliban regime. But when I talk about that, I remember back in August this year, I remember our Foreign Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar and the Kabul's Foreign Minister Mullah Muttaqi, they were there in the Beijing. And then we had a very cordial statement by the Beijing Foreign Minister. But unfortunately, then we saw that the same Foreign Minister of the Afghanistan, he went to Delhi. And from there onwards, his statements and their, narrative against Pakistan, it went totally against Pakistan.
Well, China has spearheaded this framework involving China, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, the tripartite framework, to talk about how all these problems should be contained and solved, and how peace and stability and development should really be the megatrend for Afghanistan and all its neighboring countries. Unfortunately, this tripartite framework has not worked very effectively, but we should not give up hope. I hope China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan should continue in the right direction. Further, I would recommend that all the 6 neighboring countries of Afghanistan, including China and Pakistan, should probably discuss how collectively we can come up with joint efforts to make the point to the Afghan government so that peace and stability and development should really be maintained. To make a very simple point, I don't think anyone should allow the spillover of terrorism, extremism, fundamentalism, radicalization out of Afghanistan into any of the 6 neighboring countries and to create havoc, because that's not good for Afghanistan. It is not good for any of the 6 neighboring countries, including China. And we need to really drive home this point to the Afghan government so that they can really focus on peace and stability and development and make sure that Afghanistan becomes a beneficiary of all the windfall of peaceful development in this part of the world.
Professor Victor, China always talks about peace and development and economic development. But knowing the state of the Afghan affairs right now, if there are safe havens of the terrorists who are targeting Pakistan security officials, not only the officials, but also the soft targets, people from there, they just blew up in Islamabad, the capital, and they also tried to attack on a cadet college in South Waziristan. So if the safe havens remains there, even then, will China be focusing on the economic development in Kabul and Afghanistan?
Well, if we look at the history, ever since the 1970s, Afghan has been subject to foreign intervention most of the time. For example, during the 10 Years' War, launched by the former Soviet Union in Afghanistan. The Soviet Union really created a lot of instability in the country. Thereafter, for example, the United States and NATO were in Afghanistan for 20 years. They didn't solve any of the major problems, left behind a country in great shambles. And I think right now, whether there is another country very eager to make use of the situation in Afghanistan for its own purpose, in disregard of the fundamental interests of the Afghan people and the Afghan government, then we need to really check it out. Suffice it to say that neighboring countries should work together, 6 of us all together, to make sure that Afghanistan will know the importance of maintaining peace and stability and focusing on development. And if Afghanistan is on the right track, then huge amount of potentials will be created in Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is really in a very unique traffic hub from east to the west, for example, linking China through the Wakhan corridor all the way through Afghanistan to Iran and further west, and also from Central Asia down through Afghanistan, through Pakistan to the Indian coast. Now, if peace prevails, Afghanistan can be really a very wealthy country, enjoying peace and stability and all the dividends of development.
Exactly.
Because simply their geographical location is so extraordinary and so unmatched in a sense. So I think if we do not bring about peace and stability and development to Afghanistan, Afghanistan will not only create a lot of damage to itself, to its own people, but also damage the peace and stability and development in 6 of its neighboring countries.
Very true. As you said that if any other country use Afghanistan, it will not be in their interest, in the interest of their countrymen. But we have seen recently, and the statement of the National Security Advisor of the India, Mr. Ajit Doval, those are on record. And they believe that they have all the plans to use Afghan regime as their proxies, to use the terrorist havens as the proxies against Pakistan. So do you think that Kabul is being driven by New Delhi's this approach now?
Well, I think all of us need to be wary of that possibility. And the worst that can happen to Afghanistan is to be misused as a surrogate or as a front of another country which may have its own geopolitical agenda, which may not be the same as that of the Afghan people. Therefore, we need to drive this point very much to the attention of the Afghanistan people, its military and its government. And also we need to raise the level of concern in the world about one or several foreign countries very much eager to get involved in the domestic situation inside Afghanistan. And more recently, I became very much concerned about the United States try to regain the possession of the Bagram airport. And I keep asking the Americans, why do you want to go back to this Bagram airport if you do not bring thousands, if not tens of thousands of American troops again to reconquer or recontrol Afghanistan? I think this is kind of situation that we all need to be wary of, because countries in different parts of the world, including on the Indian subcontinent, may look at Afghanistan, not for the benefit of the people in Afghanistan, but for whether they can gain geopolitical foothold in Afghanistan for their own benefits, rather than for the benefit of the people and the government in Afghanistan.